Welcome to our daily market analysis, and this is for trading on June 30th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. In terms of the data or the news that's coming up, we do have some data out of Japan. So we did see, I think it was last year or the year before, last week or the week before, where Bank of Japan had said that they're expanding their QE program. As a result of that, we had seen Japanese yen weaken as a result of that. So the data that's coming up here, if it is in line with our expectations here, then it will be okay. But if it's below expectations, we're likely to see Japanese yen drop. So keep that in mind. We also have PMI numbers coming here, as well as business confidence numbers out of New Zealand. Now, if these numbers are above expectations, that is likely to be good for Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. And if they miss expectations by a little bit, that will not be too concerning. But if there's a big difference in terms of what the actual data comes out and what's expected here, a big gap will have a negative impact. A small positive or big negative will have a negative impact on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Any positive will have a positive impact, even if it's a small amount of positive, will have a positive impact on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So keep that in mind. We do have Reserve Bank of Australia Deputy Governor speaking here. And then coming up on Tuesday here, we have a ton of data or ton of things tomorrow. First of all, account balance here, current account balance, GDP numbers for pound. This is expected to be down because the economy was closed for a period of time, and as such, the numbers are expected to be negative, which is okay. So if it's anywhere close to this, that will be okay. Again, if we see a big negative number here, higher than this, substantially higher than this, then we'll see a negative impact on British pound. Otherwise, the negative data won't have as big of a negative impact as we are normally used to seeing, because it's expected that the data is not quite as good. And then we have CPI numbers here for the Eurozone, consumer spending numbers. Again, anytime the data is better here, it will be better for the currency. But I said negative data is not having as big a negative impact currently. Now, Canada, we do have GBPJPY numbers here for Canadian dollar. It is expected to, the economy, again, because it was closed, we are expecting to see a big drop here. Again, if it's substantially bigger, that will have a negative impact on Canadian dollar. PMI numbers here, consumer confidence numbers, both of these are expected to be better than the previous time. And because as the economies are opening up, we are starting to see the data come in slightly better than expected. And if this is good, then we are likely to have a positive impact on the stock market, and we'll likely see the Dow Jones, S&P 500, all of that go up. It may not have a big positive impact on, even though it is for the US dollar, we may not see a big positive impact on the US dollar. It's likely to translate into the stock market more so than the US dollar. And then we also have Fed Chair Powell testifying here. So with this one, keep in mind, so we did see the text here come out of his speech. However, anything that is positive from his speech is likely to push the stock market higher. So that, just keep that in mind. And I'm not expecting a big negative impact from his testimony, but we never know. Anytime there is a central banker speaking, it can move the market, so watch out for it. And of course, then we have more data here for Japan later on. So a big day in terms of data, but most of the data, most of the important data, there's only few key things for important data. All right, so let's look at our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar here. Euro, it was an interesting move. We saw euro move in both directions here. There's a large pin on this candle, so it's not exactly bullish at this point, even though there is bullishness. So I'm neutral on this one. Right now, I would expect price to basically trade within this range, maybe drop a little bit if it does go below this. So for now, neutral bias here for pound, for euro dollar. Basically, I'm looking for a bit of a move higher and then back into this 1.1200 if it holds back here. Otherwise, we may see a further drop into 1165 and then back into the range. So neutral bias here for euro dollar. Lately, a lot of this stuff has been a range bound here, and market seems to be waiting. And as such, a lot of the moves these days that we are seeing are more range bound moves than really trending moves. For pound though, pound did drop, and British pound is weighed down by a lot of things like Brexit negotiations that are starting up again now, and we also have. So we'll have to see. So in terms of, actually, I forgot to mention here a couple of things we need to keep in mind in terms of trading here. One is, again, the increase in the coronavirus cases. We'll keep an eye on it. If the hospitalizations keep on increasing, that will be concerning, and we could see stock market drop as a result, which will lead to our dollar crosses and yen crosses to drop as well. So that's something to bear in mind. Also, in terms of pound here, now we'll have to see what happens in terms of UK. So with UK opening up again, if a number of coronavirus cases start to increase as well, that may become concerning. Right now, US is not locking anything down. They basically are making masks mandatory in different states that are seeing a wider or a bigger rise in terms of the cases. But they have repeatedly said that they're not going to lock anything down. So we'll see if UK follows a similar similar strategy. And also if we hear that out of China, we are seeing more lockdowns, that can be negative for the market as well. And another thing, second thing that we need to keep an eye on is the month-end close here for, so this is a quarter end and a month end. And as such, some of the pension funds will have to rebalance their portfolios, which can cause a bit of selling in the market. So watch out for that if that happens. Right now, market is quite optimistic though, but this is something to keep in mind going into tomorrow. So British pound here, it is bearish to neutral here. We do see that price dropped here, but it is into important support level here. So if it doesn't go through, we could see things turn. So watch out for that. So neutral to bearish bias, only if we see price drop here through our support level would I be looking for the next. But otherwise, so we need to see a break here for this one to continue. Otherwise, it can just turn around. So I'm neutral, neutral to slightly bearish on this, but be careful with this 1.2250 level. Aussie dollar here. Aussie has been trading in a very, very narrow range over the last few days here. It's holding sideways right now. Bias is neutral. Now, it will depend on which direction price wants to go. If you take a look at this chart here, we see price is just stuck sideways over the last couple of weeks. It's just been sideways, hasn't really done anything. It doesn't have a trend at this point. So neutral bias will wait for the market to show us its hand, and then we'll act. But for now, today's candle close is looking extremely neutral. Now with this one, if it breaks through the support, only then am I looking for a drop. Otherwise, we could even see something like this, and then back in here. So neutral bias for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar as well, very, very narrow range. Not seeing much of movement in terms of prices here. So market is stagnant right now. So in this case, again, I'm looking to see, does the price want to break through the support or the resistance? If it breaks through the resistance, I would look for price to go towards the top of the range. If it's break through the support, then looking for a drop into 0.6380. For now, though, this is completely dead as well. So neutral bias, it has barely moved in the last 3 days. So not expecting a whole lot here till we see something that really has an impact on the market. For now, this one is just in a wait and see mode. The neutral bias there. Dollar here, we did see oil go up, and as a result of that, dollar CAD has dropped. Now it was into resistance. So today we have a slightly bearish candle close here. Not completely bearish at this point, but more so than the others here. So I'm looking for a drop into 1.3620, and if it holds above, we could still see it go up. So watch out for that. But because the oil was strong, Canadian dollar was strong, and if that continues, we may see a drop, and then potentially even into 1.3500. So I'd be cautious, but for now, neutral to bearish bias here for dollar CAD. And then we have silver. So silver, again, neutral bias here. This is last 2 days. It hasn't really moved a whole lot. So bias is neutral at this point. We just need to wait and see which direction this wants to break in. If it breaks through the support, through the resistance, then I would look for this 18.35. For now, though, we are likely, if it doesn't go through, we're likely to see a drop here. So looking for it to stay range bound for now. If we see a clear break above this resistance level, then I'm looking for a further move upwards. But as we can see, this has been stuck in range for over 2 weeks now. So we are waiting. Gold here, gold is still holding above this previous support resistance level. So neutral bias here. If it holds above, we could see another move to the upside. So the important support resistance level here is 1765. If it holds above 1765, I would look for it to go higher. If it does drop through though, then we are looking for a move back down into here. For now, neutral bias for gold. Oil did have a bullish day here. We see that price came into the support and we have a bullish candle close. Next target here is 41.80. So bullish bias. Having said that though, keep in mind this is a resistance level here for oil. If it doesn't go through, it can still drop. So for now, looking bullish, just with caution. Copper here, copper did have a move higher. This is looking bullish. It went through this resistance level, so this is bullish. Next target is 2.69, and then above that we're looking for 2.72, so bullish bias for copper. Bitcoin here hasn't really done a whole lot, as you can see, still stuck in this overall range here, and so neutral to slightly bearish bias for this one. If price holds below 9,300, we are likely to see a drop. So basically I'm looking for a retest here, and if it holds below, we're likely to see a drop here. So neutral to slightly bearish bias here for Bitcoin, and the first target is 89.50 and then 88.50. So bias is neutral to bearish for Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at our stock market here. Stock market is going up. We do have a bullish close here for the day, which means we could see this one go higher. So bias is bullish to neutral here. First target would be 30.90 and then 31.60. So bullish bias here for S&P 500, bullish to neutral here. We do need to keep in mind if we start to see more flows come into the market in terms of, because it is a month end, that could change things. So things can get reversed in month end. So watch out for that. But based on the technicals here, this is still looking bullish. 10,000 is the first target here for Nasdaq, and then 10,120, and potentially all the way into 10,160, 10,250. So basically bullish for now, just with caution. Dow Jones as well, this is looking bullish. We do have a nice bullish candle close. It is right into resistance. So that's, again, watch out for these resistance areas. This is where price has reacted multiple times. So right now it is looking bullish if it breaks through this resistance here. Next target is 26,275, then 26,460. So bias is bullish here for Dow Jones as well. DAX also looking bullish. We see price came into support and then this has pushed higher. Next target here is 12,480, and then above that we have 12,600. Now keep in mind the month end, again, like I said, if it can turn around, but for now, bullish. Same thing for FTSE here. We see that price came into support. We do have a bullish engulfing candle. So purely on technicals, this is bullish, but also keep in mind, this is also an important support resistance level here. So price has reacted multiple times into this area. And as such, if it does not go through, it can turn around. So that's something we have to be mindful of. But as we can see, price is trading in a range. It has rejected the low of the range, so looking for it to go back towards the high of the range. 83.50 is the target for FTSE. So bias here as well is bullish. And last but not least, we have Nikkei here. We have a bullish pin bar. This as well, as we can see, has been trading in a range right now. And as such, we have price, we see that price rejected the low of the range, which means we're likely to see a move towards the top of the range here. So bullish bias here for Nikkei. Now, again, this one as well is also into the support resistance here. So this is our support resistance level. This has been important previously. So if price does not get through this let's say 22,500, we could see a reversal here. So with all the stock market, all the indices here, I would be careful because we could see a flip and that could cause the market to go into risk off mode. All right, so that's it. We'll wrap it up here. Have a wonderful day and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.